Hey guys, this is Brett from TopoRanger. I'm back at the Holtwood Gorge today for attempt number 2 to get to Piney Island, which is this very long rocky island, which is almost on the Lancaster County side. Last time I was here, the last video I posted, I was quite a distance north of here, up by the dam, tried to get across, but I kept getting stymied by the fact that the rocks just weren't continuous enough to get me across without getting my feet wet. Today I have 2 pieces of equipment in my arsenal which are going to help me overcome those obstacles. One is I'm wearing my muck boots here. Still have the cave mud from Conodogwinet Cave on them, and I also have this, which is a monocular. And with this monocular, I'm going to visually survey that area over there and see if I can't pick out a line that I can take beforehand. A couple things I wanted to say. Number one, the last video I did briefly mention petroglyphs. I was mistaken. I was confusing this area with an area which is beyond the Holtwood Dam in the Safe Harbor Dam. In between Safe Harbor Dam and the Holtwood Dam, there are about 7 different areas that have about 300 petroglyphs. Basically ancient Native American carvings in the rock. I was kind of confused. I was thinking they were down here, but they're not down here. They're actually up here. That's not to say that there aren't some petroglyphs down in the gorge. I would think that there would be. Maybe they're just undiscovered. It is my understanding that between the Maryland-Pennsylvania state line and southern York County, there are upwards of 1,000 petroglyphs at 10 different locations. So the Native Americans that inhabited this part of the river, they were busy carving away at the rocks. 3 different Native American cultures lived in this part of the river, in the southern part of the river here, and up north. Moving up north towards Harrisburg, there was the Clemson Island Indians, then there was the Shanks Ferry Indians, then there was the Susquehannocks. Susquehannocks came from north up by the border with New York State and Pennsylvania. They do periodically release water from the dam, and that can be dangerous, as this is a very wide river right here. To my understanding, what happens is they set off a very loud alarm in this whole area, and that goes off, and then after the alarm is over, you have 20 minutes to get to high ground or just get out of the river or whatever. I've never heard that alarm since I've been here, so hopefully that's not going to happen today. So I'm going to scope it out with my monocular, and then we're going to get going, okay? Okay, so I have basically surveyed all around this area, and I still think that my best shot is going to be basically right here. The only issue that might pop up is I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to get right up to Piney Island, but there's actually a pretty deep channel between Piney Island and this other large outcrop that is right before it. The question is, can I get across that channel? Is there a spot where the rocks will allow me to wade or just hop across the rocks to get there? That I'm really not going to be able to tell until we get down there, and hopefully there will be. I mean, I think we stand a better chance today of getting across than we did last time we were here. So let's go check it out. This is what I was talking about before, when they release the dam and the flood comes. Got to be careful today. There's quite a bit of ice down here. Well, the sun is out. I'm out in the river, but even though it is supposed to get up to 50 degrees today, last night was cold enough that there's ice here. It's not real thick, but it's here. See it? And it actually looks pretty cool. This is the edge of it. It's very delicate. Let's see what happens when I do this. Oh. There's a big chunk of it. Look at that bus, huh? Here it looks like we have ice chunks, rough edge ice chunks or shards that broke, and then they were refrozen over the night, and you get this kind of, it almost looks like an ice conglomerate. For those of you that follow my Instagram feed, which is Topo_Ranger, on Instagram, you probably won't recognize it, but I'll tell you that this right here is the northern tip of Wildcat Island, and there's that big log that I kind of finished up that little mini episode with. Wildcat, and then Peavine starts right over there. Very barren landscape out here. Rocks, ice, cold water, and these trees, or I don't know if the trees or bushes. I don't know what kind of tree this is. The bark almost makes it look like a sycamore tree. But you know, these things cling on to life despite every year being underwater for part of the year. I'd say we're about halfway across now, almost halfway across, and I'm encountering the first actual running water that I have so far. So far so good. Piney Island's right over there. That big hill there you see there, that's Lancaster County. And those line of trees right below it, I'm pretty sure that's Piney Island. Looks like some military jets up there. Now we're in this area which is almost like a forest out in the, or like a wasteland forest out in the middle of the river here. Here's some type of metal frame. I don't know what that is. It almost looks like a part of a sign. It's like a plastic pallet. And right out here in the middle of the river we have this large slab of aggregate. Yeah. It looks like for some reason somebody poured some aggregate down here. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it washed down? I don't know. That's a heavy chunk. I'm wondering if this isn't maybe just something that accidentally fell off the bridge when they were doing construction, you know, pouring concrete up there maybe, and just came down, splat, and just kind of hit the rocks and just splat. I'm not sure how else to explain something like that. Still in the forest of the dead here. I'm starting to hear some running water, so I'm thinking we're up, getting close to the channel. Yeah, yep, and there it is. I can see it. That's that big channel I was talking about. The one thing that I think might stop me from getting over to Piney. So I'd say we're about 3/4 of the way over to the Lancaster side now. Started York County side, coming over, and now we've hit the first major challenge in getting across, and this might be the thing that stops us, is in between the kind of outcroppy area I'm on right now and Piney Island, which is right there. We have this rather large channel, and it looks like maybe about half of the river, the flow of the entire Susquehanna is coming down through this channel. So unless I can find a place with pretty big rocks coming out where I can cross over, I'm not sure what we're going to do. So that's the actual Lancaster County side, the shore. The water looks like it's pretty shallow up to right about there, and then you start seeing the current and it gets deeper. The question now is, which way do we want to go? Which way do we think that we're going to have the best chance of getting across? And just looking at it right now, I'd say up there, because that's the only place where I'm seeing any kind of significant rocks. There are a few here. We could probably get out to that pier, that pylon, whatever you want to call it. But after that, you've got a pretty good current and not many rocks. So I think what we're going to do now, head north, upriver, paralleling the coast of Piney Island, which is right there, up into that area right about there, and see if we can't at least make an attempt at crossing, if not crossing in actuality. Well, I managed to find an outcrop a little bit north of where we were. That's where we first encountered the channel. That's that first, that's the pier that we were closest to when we were down there. I'm about as far out now as we were then. From here, you can clearly see the water gets deeper here. There are some submerged outcrops here. Right here you can see this little riffle. But then from there, the whole way over to Piney Island, it looks fairly flat. It might not be more than 5 or 6 feet, but that's too deep to get across today. So let's keep heading up north. It's kind of cool here. Here you can really see the process that leads from this. Here's the this is the schist. You can see, I don't know if it's coming out on the video, but here in person, it's kind of sparkling. It has kind of these silvery flecks all distributed throughout it. And then when the sun hits it right, you get this kind of shimmering, coppery and silvery kind of look to it. And over time, this is what you get. This is the breakdown of the schist. Breaks down into this stuff, which is little pebble-size material, clastic material, which is just material made of pieces of rocks. And then from here, you actually see, comes over here, it gets a little bit smaller. You get down to even smaller little bits. And eventually, although it's not in this little pocket here, eventually you get down to the kind of like the sand that we saw in episode number 10 over there, where they had that little fire under that shelter cave. You get this, it breaks down to a nice sand. All right, we got a new battery and some water. We're doing good on time. We still have at least a couple hours to explore. Some cool looking ice. Now you gotta wonder, what are these lines here? There's a bubble. I think these lines are where it broke, maybe where it cracked before, but then it refroze. And there's some bubbles trapped. Oh, this one is probably this one would probably spider like I wanted the other one. Here, let's try it. Ready? Oh, that was good. Yeah, I mean, I'd say this ice is about quarter inch, half inch thick. You see where a bubble formed, forming a little ridge right there underneath, because that was the surface. You get that cool kind of curvature that you get with a bubble. All right, so we're back in another kind of forest of the dead situation here. Except here the trees the sycamore trees are bigger. They're more like actual trees instead of just little runtified things that are just barely hanging on to life. There's quite a bit of junk here. Quite a bit of metal. Here's some cable. I don't know if that's aluminum. A length of cable. Burlap bag. There's a tire. This looks like an old. Oh wow! Look at that. It just crumbles. This looks like an old metal barrel. I mean, God, you've got to wonder how long that's been there. Some metal shelving right there. Let's see if we can figure out what this is. Stroh's, I think. I think that's a Stroh's can. Some more metal shelving. We got something big here. This looks like maybe an old oil tank, or I don't know. Let's see. It's got a little tag on it. It says filling when liquid, Shreveport, Louisiana. This was made in 1971, December of 1971. It says above ground container for, I can't quite make out what this would be used for. Has a pressure gauge here, so maybe natural gas or something. It's big. I don't know how it got here. It's like a giant pill, giant capsule. Used to be mounted right there. Some metal wire. Oh, now see up here, for whatever reason, the currents are carrying a lot of stuff up here. This here looks like a tire. It's like a hobnail tire. Each individual piece of the tread has a screw, a metal screw into it. It's like a hobnail boot. I wouldn't want to get run over by that. See, in the shrub here, there's just a lot of debris. It's a nice shiny piece of stainless steel. This looks like the remnants of of some type of dock or pier or something, with a metal structure. I don't know what that is. Some type of container. There's an inner tube. Now there's something really big over here. Let's see what that is. So it says Unifloat or Uniflote. UNIFLOT. I can't quite make this out. It looks like it was supposed to be attached to something. I'm thinking maybe a garbage bin. Let's see. On this side, let me get my flashlight. This is the inside. I don't know what this is. Yeah, that's a good question. It's very large and heavy. I mean, this thing must have washed down in a pretty strong current to get this thing moving. Still working our way north along the eastern flank of this island. I mean, and this is an island. From the other side, it kind of looked maybe just an outcrop, but this is a full-blown island I'm on here. You see the channels getting kind of little riffles there. Right here, it looks like a nice little deep spot where you got some water coming in. This might be a good swimming hole in the summer. And over there on Piney Island, it looks like there's a row of kind of like a fence of big schist boulders. Somebody put there on purpose. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe that's to keep the water from inundating the island. And we're still heading up north here. That light blinking off in the distance, that's the dam. And you can just see the dam right there. It's the same color as the rock, so you might not be able to see it on the video. Let's get up to a high spot. All right, here we are. Oh yeah, this is cool. Yeah, there it is right there. That's the dam, the flat off in the distance. And this island just keeps going. I'm starting to get some pine trees on this island here. All right, well, let's just keep heading north. See what we find. Here you can see straight over to the York County side. You got these big isolated outcrops. It is really kind of a otherworldly landscape out here. It's just rocks and gnarled trees, ice, you know. It's very peaceful though. Very quiet and peaceful. It's nice. There's a couple standalone chunks of the schist creating these little islands in it. Right here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a whole half dozen potholes right here. These vertical dark lines in the rocks, those are actually potholes. And there's another one right up there. Oh, this would be a lot of fun in a kayak, man. I tell you. You got a nice bird. Let's go see if we can get a closer look at these potholes. And here's a big, almost like a little amphitheater right here. Here's some on the other side of this rock. Alright, so here's one right here. You can see the curvature. So the water and sand and cobbles would have been swirling around high velocity for, you know, long periods of time, carving this out. When the glaciers were melting, I mean, we probably would be 100 feet, 150, maybe 200 feet underwater at this point. That's how deep, that's how much water was coming down the Susquehanna River. It would come over this thing and then whip up in here and just... So here they are from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, let's climb down in there. Now watch out for the ice here. Right behind me there. Big current there. Over here, for whatever reason, this particular patch of the rock has been scoured clean. And you can really see the green color. I don't know if that's coming out on the video, but well, for instance, there. I mean, this rock is green, and that's I think that that's because of the chloride. It sparkles too, but it's scoured clean here in this one area. It's not a good time to be here for photography because it's really contrasty, and I don't know if it's coming out. And here we have another area where the rock has been scoured clean for some reason. I'm not really sure what's going on and why some spots are clean and others are not. Maybe the current is just extra strong here. But you can see, here's the bedrock, and then here's a chunk of the bedrock. And you can see this is with nothing on it, no weathering or no dirt or anything or lichens, and then this is what it looks like everywhere else. This is that green chlorite rock, and there's seems to be a cluster of it right here. Huh? Not sure why. It's a land of barren rock, pine trees, and vultures. The vultures are everywhere. Here's a jumbo-sized pothole right here. Yeah, sorry. It's got to be 5 feet across. From that rock to the rim, it's got to be 6-7 feet. And look at this slab right here. Look at that thing. All right, let's go check out this little overhang. Oh wow, yeah, it's definitely a fissure. Smells kind of fishy down here. Wow, look at that overhang. There you go. If you want a nice tranquil place to meditate during the summer, this would be a place to come. Oh yeah, look at that. It's like the water comes up right to there. And that's like it's pretty deep there too, you see, right in this little spot here. This would be a really cool place to hang out and swim. The cliff line there, it's like a little cove here. So I think this is a pretty good place to call it for the day. I still got to get back to my car, which is going to take a little while. I got to get back up to York. I actually work this evening. This little cove here seems like a nice place to end this episode. We didn't get to Piney Island, but you know, as is seems to be the case almost every time I go out, even if you don't get exactly where you need to go, usually you're going to find something really interesting along the way. I guess, you know, they say the point of a journey is not to arrive, but rather it's the getting there that's important. So I'm stopping here also because, you know, like I said before, I like to leave a little on the plate. In this case, I'm leaving a lot on the plate because it just keeps going up there. I mean, everything's just bigger and bolder here than I thought it would be, than it looks from the air, from the satellite photography. So I'm just going to head back through this fissure here and around the north part of this island, see if I can't get back to the car. And we definitely have future episodes up here. And this is the Holtwood Gorge area north of the Normanwood Bridge. If you're interested in coming out here yourself, this is north of the bridge, and then south of the bridge is a whole bunch of other stuff. Today I parked in the Lock 12 historical recreational area parking lot, which is on the York side, on the north side of the road, which I'm not sure what the road is, but the road that goes over the Normanwood Bridge there. If you want to come here and check this out, it's really cool. I highly recommend it, all right? So I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and this is Brett for TopoRanger, signing out.